और बताओ।
Yeah, where did you even start? RSS, your childhood, and then you.
Yeah, this is
It's quite
this is all
interesting.
like linked. The इनफैक्ट मैं गेम खेलता हूँ अपने दोस्तों के साथ कि मुझे तुम इंडिया का कोई भी प्रॉब्लम लाके दो एंड आई टेल यू हाउ इट इज
Yeah.
रिलेटेड टू in some ways to the problem of our caste system. So this
Yeah.
problem of innovation, right? Lack of innovation. Now the thing is that if you look at our system, एजुकेशन सिस्टम की बात करें हम लोग कर ली कि सिलेबस इस तरीके से बनाया गया है कि देर इज अनदर एस्पेक्ट टू इट विच वी डिडंट टॉक अबाउट इज क्लासरूम में एक्सेप्टेंस ऑफ अथॉरिटी. मैं जब यूएस आया ना, यूएस में मैं आया मास्टर्स करने के लिए, एंड द थिंग दैट अमेज्ड मी द मोस्ट वाज कि लेट्स से क्लास ओवर हो गया, द स्टूडेंट वुड स्टैंड अप एंड जस्ट लीव एंड द प्रोफेसर विल से नथिंग, और the student will come in the class just like that or go to the restroom just like that. Nobody needs to ask permissions or anything, which was very different from even the way I did my engineering, because everything was about asking permissions from authorities.
Yeah.
And I realized that in India we are a very authority based society where in classroom a teacher has authority, in family the father of the family has authority, and so on and so forth. So basically how this happens is that our society has always been so hierarchy based that there have been at the top either the kings or the brahminical priests who have authority, and then authority flows from there. So what happens is that even in classroom, if you are one of those child student who has a lot of questions, at some point you start feeling a little embarrassed of asking questions because you don't want to make the authority feel uncomfortable, right? You want to exist in a way that it doesn't make anyone feel uncomfortable. And if you keep existing in a way that it does not make anyone feel uncomfortable, you will live your life in the path that has been designed for you, which most
You are
of us
going to
don't.
be uncomfortable in return.
And
You don't want, like, it's as simple as you wanting to go to the bathroom but you can't because there's a lecture going on and you won't even ask. And then even the idea of asking for permission to pee. Can you not even do that by yourself? I mean,
exactly.
it's one thing to ask politely, that is a different thing, but there was always a chance of you asking and being rejected. It just shows that it's not about just being polite. You were asking for permission. And I was scrolling through YouTube a few days ago, and I saw this video by Sadhguru.
Oh.
And then I didn't watch it. The title of it was "Should You Masturbate?"
Acha.
So this man is going to sit and tell you
There is
if you should masturbate or not. There's no, I just have some information and
there's
I'm going to
Google
tell you
movement
this and
about
you
this,
should
by the
decide for
way.
yourself. No, I'm going to tell you what you should.
नहीं नहीं, तो ये भी एक्चुअली ये एक दूसरी प्रॉब्लम भी है, स्पेशली आई मीन देयर इज अ होल मूवमेंट इन इंडिया, इन द वर्ल्ड अबाउट दिस, बट इन इंडिया स्पेशली देयर इज दिस होल कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ प्योरिटी एंड पोल्यूशन ऑल्सो, राइट?
Yeah.
प्योर वेज रेस्टोरेंट भी इसी इसी स्पेक्ट्रम में प्योर वेज रेस्टोरेंट भी आते हैं. But the thing is, this is a natural urge that people have. But there is also a constant conflict in your head about purity and impurity. So you want to indulge in it, and you also want to make sure that someone is there. So if you think about like our initial discussion, why do we have God, or why did humans have like created this idea of God? It was because we wanted an external authority to hold back on our urges. Right now we don't need anyone. Like अगर मैं आज तुम्हें बोलूं कि भाई तू मॉरल क्या इसीलिए है कि तेरे को गॉड क्वेश्चन पूछेगा, एंड यू से यस, देन आई थिंक ऑफ यू एज a little less smart, right? क्योंकि आज हमें जरूरत नहीं, but go back 1,000 years, what would stop me from taking everything away from you if I have a good weapon, because it's a fight for resources. And if I create an invisible authority by the name of God who will judge me after I die, that will stop me. And a lot of our problems, if like from there to now, should I masturbate or not, is all about that, right? Ki how, like I am not good, I am not, like जिसे कहते हैं ना language, man enough to make sure that I take choices, control my urges, decide for myself. So I will be like कोई दूसरी authority कर दे मेरे लिए तो वो better होगा. खैर.
One less thing to think about because I have all this other उसके लिए या एंड उसके लिए फिर देन यू फाइंड सम और द अदर सोल्यूशन. आपको रेडीमेड एक मैन्युफैक्चर्ड सोल्यूशन हर चीज के लिए मिल ही जाएगा.
हाँ हाँ.
There's very little room for you to do things yourself.
I mean अगर if you
The way our education system is structured, I'm going back to that again because it's not about like you will be asked a question and you have to answer. That is your role as a student. It's not about problem solving. It's never finding a solution to a problem. It's about knowing an answer to a question.
and if you want to make, and if you want to change the world, even like I'm not talking about big political ideas, huh? I'm talking about like even like at like a startup level. If you want to change the world, if you want to create something, you'll have to ask questions, you'll have to learn to create questions. That is the thing, and no one teaches us. The system does not it curbs that ability from us basically of asking. Like अभी अपन जब डिस्कस करते हैं कि नेशनल एंथम क्यों जरूरी है स्कूल में, स्कूल डे शुरू करने से पहले, अच्छी है या बुरी है बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, क्यों जरूरी है. इट्स अ क्वेश्चन दैट I never thought of when I was in school, because like ये मैं बहुत सिंपल सा एक सड़ा सा एग्जांपल देता हूँ. हिंदी में एक वर्ड होता है ज्ञानपीठ. अब यू ज्ञानपीठ अवार्ड्स होते हैं ऑल दैट, राइट? सो एक अंकल आए मेरे घर में है, एंड ही हैड अ बैग, और उस बैग में लिखा हुआ था ज्ञानपीठ, बट इंग्लिश में, इंग्लिश अल्फाबेट्स में, बट इट वाज रिटन एज JNANPEETH. एंड आई वाज लाइक ज्ञानपीठ को JNAN क्यों लिखा है? सो ही आस्क्ड दिस अंकल, एंड अंकल वाज लाइक अपने कोर्स की बातों पे ध्यान दो, डोंट फोकस ऑन दिस. एंड माय फादर अग्रीड. And it doesn't matter, it's a very small thing, but now when I think of these small moments, I think कि ये नहीं, मतलब you know, like nobody, like even our parents, in some way it makes life much easier, right? Because no one is going to ask uncomfortable questions. I have friends now who have started to like have babies and all, right? And they have started to think about these things ki, like when the babies will ask uncomfortable questions, like how babies are born, for example, how will I answer them? And that is the whole point, is to make, to ask questions that are not always comfortable, because that is how any positive, and the envelope will be pushed in the end, right?
That is an assumption that you have to make. That pushing envelopes is a good thing is an assumption you'll have to make, which you can't make if you're conservative, because you want to maintain the status quo. You want things to go the way they are. Pushing the envelope is going to be counterproductive for you.
हाँ, तो वही है कि सोचा था हमने जब ये पॉडकास्ट का एपिसोड शुरू किया था कि क्या बात करेंगे, और देखो क्या क्या बात करेंगे.
And I'm going around in circles. I just came back to the idea of privilege again. So let's rewind a bit and go back to what we were talking about. And let's connect these two things. What does RSS as an organization have to say about caste?
Caste. It's a very interesting take actually, because if you ask them, so they don't, so they're not actively working to eradicate castes. Golwalkar, who was the second Sarsang Chalak of RSS, had this very famous line. He said, Sab jati mahan, sab jati saman. But jatis exist, right? So, in their words, they are saying that caste system should exist, but all castes are equal. But what this means, if I say all castes are equal, and let me give you another example. So, our honorable Prime Minister Ji Modi ji, I put two G because he's, you know,
Shri Modi.
Shri Modi ji. So he wrote a book क्या मतलब a book about of his essays was published in 2007. It was called Karma Yogi. Karma Yogi was the name of the book. In Karma Yogi, Modi ji wrote in a passage that in like a few hundred years ago or whatever in the past, at some point these people who do manual scavenging must have felt कि there is some kind of enlightenment that we get from doing manual scavenging, and that is why they still keep doing manual scavenging, because they get enlightenment, they find their god via manual scavenging. Now this is the way they look at the world. They think
Yeah.
that yes, the society is structured. They don't look at it as hierarchy. They look at it as like everyone has their own jobs and everyone is doing their jobs. But the problem is they're not thinking about the social immobility factor, where if I'm born in a certain group, it's very difficult for me to move out of that group, right? So the way RSS looks at caste is the way any upper caste Hindu looks at caste, from very rose tinted glasses, and they talk with all the right words that क्या बोलना चाहिए, caste based differentiation should not exist. But in the end, they will take no step to dismantle that structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you sit and talk with them about caste, they will give you some nice jumla, but in the end, it doesn't mean anything. I'll suggest there's this guy, person by the name of Bhavar Meghvanshi. He wrote a book called "मैं I could not be your Hindu." It's in Hindi, but it was then translated in English as well. He used to be in RSS just like me, but he was also from the Dalit community, and he realized the Dalit, like anti-Dalit nature of RSS, and then he eventually left and wrote a book about it. I'd highly recommend that as well.
So what you said about Modi, what Modi wrote about
Mhm.
it is essentially that yeah, every har jati, what was it? Har jati mahan.
सब जाति समान, सब जाति महान.
Sub jati, yeah, sub jati man, sub jati saman. So the all jatis are great as long as you toe your caste lines. As long as you're performing the roles that are assigned to you by your caste, you are great. Matlab, if you belong to the Dalit community and your job is manual scavenging, as long you can be great, Dalits can be great as long as they do what Dalits are supposed to.
There is a weird hypocrisy in this as well, right? Because they also talk about Varna Vyavastha. They will tell ki it was all based on jobs. It was like if you do the job of a priest, you become a Brahmin. It doesn't matter where you are born. What job you do makes you what you are. But then when you ask about the fact that it like like the structure is static now, there is no movement in that. How do you define that? How do you explain that? They will be like they won't have an answer. That's the thing. They will talk about
Yeah.
Jati Varn Vyavastha. They will talk about how British people, British colonial,
Ah.
they will say all these things. But then when you ask why now? Then why is it exist now? They will not have an answer. It's almost
Yeah, so
like, sorry.
the idea of caste being simply what your profession is. There was I remember there was a joke I read a few months ago or years ago, I think, but I just remembered it now. So there's this guy who boards a bus and he sits next to an another elderly guy. So the elderly guy asks him, "What is your caste?" And this guy says, "So caste is based on profession, right? So my caste is engineer." But that's not how it is, right? That's not the answer he was expecting. So it's ridiculous to think that way. It might have started like that. I don't know. But that's where the endogamy comes in, right? That's where the social immobility factor comes in.
Social endogamy
And
is the primary, one of the primary ways that it is maintained, definitely. But social immobility comes in many ways, right? I mean, if you go
yeah,
even like in most Indian villages, if you are a mochi, it's difficult for you to buy land and start
yeah,
farming. People will not support you.
yeah. Yeah, you might not even most Dalit communities. Their houses are on the outskirts of villages.
That's also true.
They're
Yeah.
not even within the village. वो जमीन own करना that is
जमीन ओन करना
बहुत दूर की बात है.
मतलब मैंने बहुत
And
बड़ी बात बोली, जमीन ओन करना इंडिया में कितने परसेंट। ये तो एक और प्रॉब्लम है ना कि हमारा लेंस इतना स्क्यूड है। इंडिया में कितने परसेंट लोग जमीन ओन करते हैं? 30% लोग भी जमीन ओन नहीं करते इंडिया में। खैर वो एक दूसरा, लाइक इट विल बी अ लॉन्ग डिफरेंट लॉन्ग डिस्कशन अबाउट लाइक
yeah,
आई थिंक वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट uh, so partition happened, right? India and Pakistan and all. I think one of the biggest unseen reason for partition that is not academically studied as much is land reforms. A lot of the people who wanted, like, the loudest voices started about partition started happening only after 1930s, mid 1930s, early 1930s. And in late 1920s, after the 1929 resolution of the Congress Party, the resolution basically said that when India gets the right to self-govern, we will do large scale land reforms, basically land redistribution. And a lot of big zamindars got really scared of this idea, and that is when they started lobbying for partition. In fact, when the idea of Pakistan came first, a lot of rich Punjabi zamindars of non-Muslim zamindars sent letters to the Muslim League for with their support because
oh,
and you can see like इंडिया की हालत बहुत खराब है, आई एग्री। बट इंडिया में फिर भी थोड़ा बहुत लैंड रिफॉर्म हुआ है। पाकिस्तान में कुछ भी नहीं। पाकिस्तान में आज भी वो 200 जमींदार फैमिली ही सब ओन करती हैं और सब चलाती हैं। It's an interesting aspect of partition that has not really been talked about, much.
you can get into it if you want.
I mean, I I I think so. I am not the best person to talk about it because although I've read upon it, but I think there are better academic scholars to talk about it. But in general, what has happened is that, and even like looking at India even now, right? We haven't had the kind of land reforms that India as a country should have had, and that was a large reason for our lack of productivity, farm productivity for the longest part in the early years of our independence, right before Green Revolution. But in Pakistan, the problem is even worse because in Pakistan, like so you will you I'm sure you've noticed you met talk to seen Pakistani people, right? So you will see a very clear distinction between the type of Pakistani people that you see in media represented in politics and then the average
Yeah,
Pakistani
yeah,
that you see in
yeah. Of
and
course.
that is because power is very closely controlled by those 200 families. Like there is no Mulayam Singh Yadav or Mayawati in Pakistan. There is no Lalu Prasad in Pakistan. And the reason is, in at the end of the day, that because of the lack of land reforms, there was no economic mobility. So whatever economic mobility has happened in Pakistan happened because they opened their markets much before India. So they had those mid, like they started getting those mid, कहते हैं middle, like manage service sector, industry sector jobs. But the thing is कि even that was primarily distributed within the relatives of those 200 large families because they owned the means for education as well. So the large structural disadvantage in Pakistan that exists can all be kind of seen through the lens of the lack of land reforms in Pakistan. In India,
Yeah.
we have huge inequalities, and then there is caste. But some amount of land reform movements happened, and that is why you still at least see some kind of suburban rural politics that
Yeah.
happens, because I mean, there are these small groups. If you like, think of any Pakistani politician beyond one, that is your Altaf Hussain from MQM. Everyone is so polished and so suave and so like suit woot, because they are all from that same.
Yeah. Mm. Well, there is a caste system there as
Of
well, isn't
course,
it?
and there is caste. In the end, there is caste also. Usually, all these zamindars are like big, big caste groups also, right? Vadere can
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Vadere
So
is,
yeah, so for those who are listening, they might think that caste is just something that a society just naturally falls into, but there is a history of just to make it clear that there's a history of Hindu Dalits and Bahujans, basically Dalits and CST OBC, converting to Islam and Christianity and Sikhism to escape some of these atrocities. But in turn, the upper castes are also the oppressor castes are also converting to those religions, and now those religious structures practice caste as well.
yeah,
It's not
exactly.
like कोई हाँ अभी वो पाकिस्तान नया नया बन गया और वो अपने आप वहाँ पे डिवीजन हो गया. No, it was a tradition essentially.
In fact, for all the people listening, I would urge you guys to Google and read about Dalit Sujat Tehreek, which is a Dalit party, political advocacy group that was formed in Pakistan a few years ago, and it talks about those issues. So yeah, so it's alive and well.
uh, when you were talking about Modi, what Modi was saying about these castes and how there should be a caste system, but everyone should follow the lines, and that's how we are going to be great. So, something along those lines was also written by M.K. Gandhi.
Yeah, yeah.
He wrote an essay
He
called The Ideal Bhangi, which is a casteist slur.
yeah,
I don't want to use it
yeah,
repeatedly, but it's titled that The
yeah,
Ideal Bhangi.
yeah.
So, which is he's essentially saying the same thing that the manual scavengers should embrace their occupation, should be proud of their occupation, and they should be happy about doing it.
So
And
he was a very strange man, right? He was a very strange man because one thing that when I look at Gandhi's life, I do want to make one thing very clear, that he was a man who died 70 years ago, lived 100 years ago, and lived in a different time than we live right now, and lived in a different kind of reality than we live in right now. He was a strange man because on one hand he was very, like, it seemed like he wanted to confront the caste question by not dismantling it, but almost like in an RSS way, where
yeah,
caste exists, and yet there are no differences between people, which I don't think is possible. In fact, I thought,
it can't be.
I
Yes.
like my most radical view is that unless Hinduism as it is kind of dismantled, कल को समझ में आया
Yeah.
तो ये लाइन कहीं ना कहीं लोग सुना बोलेंगे, बट आई थिंक unless Hinduism as a structure is dismantled, caste is going nowhere, because caste is
I
Hinduism.
agree. I
Hinduism is
agree
caste.
with you 100%. Even Suraj Jengde, who is a scholar,
Yeah,
Dalit scholar who has been studying these things, he says that Indian society, i.e., Hindu society, is based on caste society, which means he equates Hinduism with casteism, which is I agree with that too, and which is what also Ambedkar said, right?
हाँ.
Caste is a monster that you encounter everywhere you turn.
And Ambedkar also said something that I find fascinating. It's a he said Hinduism is a building with no stairs, and this line is has been like etched in me. Like, I find this line fascinating. But going back to Gandhi, right? He was a strange man because for a man who lived in even in that time, he was very privileged, right? He went to London, he studied law there and everything. And even then, and even in his good intentions, right? Something. So in Bihar in 1930s, there was a huge earthquake, Champaran, and a lot of people
Mm, yeah.
died. And Gandhi said that this earthquake happened because people in Bihar still do chhuachut. And then someone like Tagore rebuked him greatly. He was like, while you are trying to talk against chhuachut, you're putting people like in like unscientific thought process in people's head, and that is not going to augur well. But a lot of there is a difference between Gandhi and RSS, and that
Yeah, of
difference,
course.
I think, is that he was a conservative man who I would not have agreed with at all, but he was was not vengeful. He did not harbor hate for other people, other groups. RSS is vengeful. RSS believes in a specific kind of supremacist ideology. Now, there is obviously there is a great space for debate of whether confronting RSS type organizations directly is much better, or confronting someone like Gandhi, who was much softer in his approach, but maybe was as like the the vileness of
Well,
those could have
I'll tell
been
you where
as
I stand on this. See,
hmm,
what I see this as is Gandhi, whether it was deliberate or not, whether it was calculated or not, I'm not getting into that. What I'm saying is Gandhi played the role of the good cop to Hindutva's bad cop in terms of propagating caste.
so no, yeah, yeah. I quite like this comparison. Hey, can we just pause the segment for a minute?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Just give me
dog
a second.
disagreeing
Someone
with
is at the
you.
door. Someone is at my door. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Electronic. Hey, I'm back. Are you here?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So where was I? So yeah. So I like your good cop, bad cop example. I have no way to, because see, RSS existed in Gandhi's lifetime. RSS, in fact,
Yeah.
I mean RSS killed Gandhi. So so there is that in play here.
Yeah.
I think
That's why I wanted to make it clear that I don't know if it was calculated and deliberate or not, but
I think
yeah, I have seen it. Yeah.
so. So let me use the example of American politics to make my point. Okay. So in when you look at American politics, you see a Bernie Sanders like figure who everybody loves and adores, and everybody as in on the left, and
Well, not everybody. Some of them, some people on the left hate him for being an old white male,
ah,
a straight old white
so,
man.
so Bernie's there are certain ideas, right? But Bernie's ideas. Now the point is, when you look at America, this country, 46% people in this country don't believe in the theory of evolution. Almost 50% of this country believes that they should have the right to carry guns publicly, and
Yeah.
the same amount of people believe that abortion should not happen. Like a woman should not have the right to get an abortion, no matter when,
Yeah.
right? Even if like for like things like rape and all, she should not.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
country, no matter how beautiful or how nice Bernie's ideas are, they will need a lot of educating people before we can even hope for his ideas to take shape in this country. In
Yeah.
the end, the problem with democracy and democratic systems is that you have to build bridges to people you don't agree to, so that some of those people get on those bridge and come to your side, give you enough
Yeah.
numbers to help you form uh, like your government, and then allow you to have your policies. So which means that you will always have to kind of cut down the edges of your opinions so as it is acceptable to everyone. Now you can refuse to do that, and you can completely be like, no, this is what I want and this is what I'll fight for, and I'll fight on the grounds.
Which is what a lot of people are doing right now, right? They plant themselves in on one point on the spectrum, और फिर मेरे राइट विंग में जो है, मेरे इस स्पेक्ट्रम में मेरे से जो भी हल्का फुल्का थोड़ा बहुत भी राइट होगा,
हाँ,
वो फैशिस्ट है।
तो होगा क्या उससे, होगा ये उससे कि आप एक्टिविस्ट बन सकते हो वो करके, बट आप पॉलिटिकल विक्ट्रीज नहीं मिलेंगी आपको, ठीक है। नाउ
I'm not even sure if you can be a political activist, because वो सिर्फ राइट विंग को लेके ही नहीं है, मेरे लेफ्ट में भी है ना, जो मेरे से एक डेसिमल थोड़ा लेफ्ट होगा, वो सूडो लेफ्ट है, और वो क्या बोलते हैं उसको, बी पार्ट में नहीं, व्हाट वाज इट, बी टीम है,
वो
हाँ
देखो ऐसा है
बी
कि
टीम है, या फिर मुसंगी है, या
राइट, मैं
जो भी
बस
तुमको
ये
वर्ड
कहूँ,
बोलना है।
तो मेरे तो राइट और लेफ्ट सब कुछ क्योंकि एवरीवन हु इज ड्राइविंग फास्टर देन मी इज क्रेजी, एंड एवरीवन हु इज ड्राइविंग स्लोअर देन मी इज अ फूल, राइट।
या
So, but the thing is कि a good politician also has to have the ability to read where the temp like the mind of the people are, and then try to push that envelope a little and keep pushing it, right? That's what a good politician do. A good politician can also do read the people and then try to feed them a little fear, and like, because fear is strong, right? So like someone like Modi, a good politician in his place would what would they have done? They would have said, yes, I acknowledge that you are deeply conservative, be it Hindu, Muslim, whatever, you are all deeply conservative and you all deeply believe in your religious faith, but let us try and be open to others, let us try and be open to everyone, because in the end, the more we are, the better chances that we allow ourselves to grow, right? When I look at the world through that lens is where I am ready to give Gandhi some benefit of doubt, because we cannot forget the country that he was in. That country was a
या
country where there were still different taps. I mean, it's still very bad, but I'm saying there were still different taps for Hindus and Muslims in big cities like Lahore.
या
That is the kind of division that country had. And when we talk about radical ideas now, you and I, when I say that is why when I said, right, that unless you dismantle Hinduism, you can not cure caste.
या
This line will never work in politics, right? No one saying this can ever win an election. Now, if someone who's saying this can never win an election, how will any change be possible? And that is when you learn the first lesson, that ultimately it is about politics is about the art of the second best, as you say. And then you keep
the lesser evil
yeah,
essentially.
and then you keep slowly pushing at it. And and while it doesn't sound the most romantic of ideas, sadly that is how things change.
I think we are looking at the same thing, but uh, I call it the good cop, bad cop thing. Someone might call it the lesser evil. Someone might call it what was the term that you used?
I am just saying that we have to be more thoughtful in our approach.
Yeah. I agree with you. I do. But then the thing is that, See, the reason for people outright rejecting Gandhi, which I do support, is because this side of him is not being acknowledged and it's being brushed aside. If people are acknowledging this fact, and like you are doing right now, but then there are people who whitewash him, who idolize him, who present him as the perfect
No one should be
father
like
of the
that, though,
nation.
right? No one should be. No one is above reproach, I feel.
Yeah, yeah. But then because people are projecting him and propagating his image in that manner, that is why people are outright rejecting him also. That is what I think, feel.
There are, and you'll find that in both right wing and left wing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. We digressed a lot. I think this entire episode was full of digressions.
that's what your like now you change your podcast from interruptions to digressions.
Digressions, I guess so, yeah. But then I haven't stopped interrupting people yet. I haven't gotten rid of that habit.
That will not really change until I mean that happens within my pod as well. It's about maybe having like a video call or something. That way you at least know that when the other person is anticipating saying something.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But a lot of my interruption happens when I either want to add points or I want to contradict what you're saying. That's a very bad habit of mine. I used to do it a lot more than I do right now, but it's still I still do it. I have to improve.
no, I agree. And I think there like we can just sit and have a discussion around a lot of things, and a lot of things would come out of it.
Yeah.
And if I don't know like the usual length that you kind of try to aim at, but 3-4 घंटे तो आराम से निकल जाते हैं ऐसे में.
Yeah, I mean actually the first episode itself, I uploaded about an hour, 15 minutes or something, but the actual conversation was 4 hours long. And that was with a friend of mine. He was an old schoolmate, so there were different reasons for that. But then, yeah, some of my episodes, the third episode was 2.5 hours, and that was with a total stranger. That was the first conversation that we had. Yeah, I think should we stop here?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, right. So I don't even know how to conclude. We were all over the place, but
Why don't you record something like that you use every time? So like, and that's a wrap or something like that. I don't know. I'm just saying.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe I would. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to make something like okay, this is what hard है ये ऐसा. चलिए शुरू करते हैं ऐसा नहीं.
नहीं नहीं चलिए शुरू करते हैं नहीं but like
No, but then yeah, what I'm saying is now चलिए शुरू करते हैं has become a meme. I don't want to become a meme.
like कुछ भी
But that is assuming that my podcast is going to be a success and people are going to listen.
नहीं but like in our podcast what we do is we take a little bit from like like the discussion in the middle and put it at the beginning and then we start like the episode.
Yeah, 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 like that. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is what I mean. See, I keep interrupting and I keep extending the
नहीं
conversation.
नहीं ठीक है.
So in conclusion, that was the man called RSS. Yeah. So yeah, this is where we end. That was Raj, and yeah, it was an interesting conversation. We started off with something and we ended up somewhere else, but it was all interesting all along the way. I hope we can have another conversation soon and we can continue this.
Sure, definitely.
All right. Thank you, Raj. Thank you so much.